Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I'm taking a look at the Holman Handcrafted Collection Single-Column Personal Size Bible. And of course this is in the CSB. And here is a look at what it tells us is in the box. So real quick, calfskin premium leather, high quality Bible paper, Smythe sewn, single column layout, topical subject headings, 10-point type, black letter text, footnotes, blue art gilt edges, 3 ribbon markers, concordance, presentation page, and full color maps. So let's take a quick look here. So first, this is a personal size version of the larger wide margin edition that they did previously, also in the handcrafted edition. That one matches this one almost identically. Page for page is the same. The difference is the page numbers in it are in the middle, and in this one they're in the inner margin. And of course it has different paper. It's made for wide margin. I'll do a separate video comparing the two, and we'll go through all the details comparing. But this one has a 10-point font instead of a 10.5 point, and a little bit thinner paper. I'm not exactly sure how thick this paper is. If I were guessing, I would call it 32, but that is just a guess. It has a little bit more show through than I would like. It does feel fairly smooth. A little bit rough cut on the edges. It has a little bit of a curl there on the edge, and then if you can see here how it lays right there, you see a little bit of angle cut. It just looks a little odd. But we have a calfskin cover, and this is the dark gray. It's mostly smooth. It does have a little bit of marbling in there that looks pretty nice. I like the look of that marbling. Extra large raised hubs, silver printing on the spine. There's the 3 ribbons. A black, I think that is a very dark gray, and then red. Blue art gilt edges. Looks good. I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. Then we have a silver line around the inside perimeter stitching, and then the edge lined tab. That edge line tab is a little stiff. I think this is a leather liner. It doesn't feel synthetic. I think that's real leather. Could be bonded. I don't know for sure. But the edge line tab is a little stiff. This is on purpose here. So when you see those pages glued, that is on purpose. The tab is inside there. It's a touch stiff. Doesn't want to stay open. It will after some use, but it's going to take some extra effort on it there. And then here is our information. It was printed in China, and it was also printed with the Bible serif typeface created by 2K Denmark. This is one of my favorite typefaces. I like it a lot. Made specifically for Bibles. It looks really good. So single column, around 14 to 16 words per line. It's a little bit more than I like. And as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of margin space. It's 11/16. Not a lot of margin space. The footnotes are in the footer, and they have verse numbers are in red. The verse numbers in the text are also in red, so they're easy to find. They stand out. And then also the header text is in red, and then the chapter numbers are in red. Goes into the gutter a little further than I like. I wouldn't mind if that didn't go quite so far into the gutter. I do find the paper easy enough to turn. I wish it was a little bit more opaque. Has a little bit more show through than I like. Then see, the poetry looks great. Anytime you have 14 to 16 words per line in prose, that is perfect for poetry. That makes poetry really shine. It looks amazing in this. Very few lines wrap to the next line. Very few. Poetry just looks great in this. I like that a lot. So lists look like lists. Letters look like letters. Poetry looks like poetry. I always like to look at Ezra. There's a list. So here's a letter. Letters are slightly indented, so they stand out just enough that you know they look different. There's another letter. I like it when they stand out just a little bit, just enough to let you know that that's a different type of text. Someone wrote that to someone else. Then in the New Testament, it's black letter text, and so the words of Christ are in black. Old Testament quotes are in bold, so they stand out. And then after the text, we have a concordance. This is a fairly small concordance. It does have names, and it does have biographical information. I like that. The text is small, so if you need a large print, this might be a little bit difficult for you to read. The text is kind of small, but it does have some good biographical information. Doesn't have a lot of references, though, so this is a small concordance. It's good for basic study, but for deeper study and for sermon prep, I think you would need a little bit larger concordance. So here's how many references we have for God. So that's not a lot there. Not a lot. Here is Isaac. There's a little biography. I like that. Moses. Kind of small text, though. And then some pages for notes. This is the same paper as the Bible paper. It does have lines in 2 columns so that you can make some notes back there. And then the Holman maps. These are on matte paper. It's a really thick paper. They look good. I love these colors. It does not have an index. Some of the names are a little small, but they do stand out easy enough to read. Of course, it's going to have cities and routes and borders. Some topography there. A little bit of topographical information. So these look good. And there's our tab on the end. So let's take a look at the size and weight. The overall size, the size you'll need if you're buying a case to put this in, is 5 7/8 by 9 1/4 and 1 3/4. Then we'll weigh 2 pounds 2.5 ounces. So that is my quick look at the Holman Handcrafted Collection Single-Column Personal Size Bible. I do like the print. I like the print quality. It's consistent all the way through. It's a large enough print. It does have a good amount of leading space between the lines. That looks really good. Enough white space in the text. I'd like the paper to be a little bit more opaque. That's one of the things that I'd like to see different. I'd also like to have a little bit more inner margin space, because you can tell some of the text bends into the gutter a little bit. Just a little bit there. So if it didn't bend into the gutter quite so far, it would be easier to read. It is still readable. It doesn't go out of your view. I'm not sure what this little crinkle here is. I find that a little bit annoying. The cutting of the page. I think it's the way the page is cut, because you feel a little bit of a lip here, and then you see the edges on this side. But if I could change a couple of things, I like the paper to be a little bit more opaque, and I like to have a little bit more margin space, especially in the inner margin. But this Bible looks good. It's easy to carry, easy to hold. The cover is floppy, but not overly floppy. I can hold it open in one hand. The edge line tab is a little stiff, but that will break in with enough use. So if you put enough use on it, that won't be a problem. So yeah, this is a good looking Bible. I will place some links in the notes so that you can make a purchase if you're interested. Holman did supply this in exchange for an honest review. And I'll also place links to Bible Buying Guide where you can see the written review with more information. And then stay tuned for more videos where I will do some comparisons. I'll compare this to the Cambridge diadem. I'll compare it to the larger wide margin Holman. And possibly a few others. If there's anything you'd like to see me compare this to, just let me know. I don't have a lot of these Holmans, or a lot of CSBs, but I do have a few that I can compare to. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.